Hey YouTubers, my name's Steven Wolf, and welcome to another episode of this reaction video to Untitled 2018-2019 season, NHL season, Eastern Conference and Western Conference edition of this upcoming hockey season. Though by the time this video starts, the hockey season will have already been officially started. But I want to get out my reaction video to one of his videos. Guy makes excellent funny preview videos of the teams that will probably have a good chance during the first half of the season, and other teams don't. Last year was a very shocking winner of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Washington Capitals. The memes are gone. The memes are gone. I will never hear "you lost to the effing Penguins" again, as Untitled usually says in his videos. I'm gonna have to wait like at least maybe 5-10 years before he can officially say those words again. Unless they go to the playoffs and lose to the Penguins again. The Capitals, well, congratulations. You had a long time coming. Hopefully it doesn't take the Florida Panthers 40 years to get the playoffs, though we're kind of hitting the halfway point. Vegas, well, I can't say much, but hopefully they can do better. Well, they got to the finals. What am I saying? I don't know if they can go to the finals again, but it'll be interesting to see the team in his second year doing it all over again. Well, let's see. Well, this will definitely determine if the coach Gragulant, if I'm saying his name right, I'm sorry. It does if he sends the Vegas Knights to the playoffs again for a second straight year, we officially screwed the Florida Panthers. Basically screwed themselves. Though the coach we have right now, Bob Boughner, if I'm saying his name right, a lot of names. I'm not the type of person good with names, but that's not important. Important is that who we basically got right now is a good person for the Cats right now, but we had someone better. We just should have waited to the end of the season if we can turn things around. First half of last season we didn't have, well, actually I shouldn't get too much into this. You basically came here to see the video of my reaction, not me blabbering about the Panthers, and I should really do a preview video if I can, if the internet connection doesn't give out on me. This will probably be out hopefully before the game starts on Saturday. This video, well, depending on how well my internet's working, maybe soon. But that's enough rambling. First part of this video, the Eastern Conference edition. Hopefully we get something. Let's see how the off seasons, each of the Eastern Conference basically rub Untitled the right way or the wrong way. Let's see. So, in 3, 2, 1, and play.
I would bitch about the league and how it keeps driving itself off a cliff, but I was just signed to an 8-year extension like everyone else. The NHL won't immediately regret this decision. There is another season that snuck up on us, though. Let's explore the Eastern Conference to decipher what the hell could happen. At least you beat Toronto again. That's all I can say. You guys pissed away what could have been a special year last season, but you were far too busy bitching about the officials instead of the depth vanishing once again. I know it's there. I saw it with my own eyes. You need the Turtles' head to pop out of the shell for a bit more than it did in years past. Perhaps the boys club can stay out of their own damn way and let these kids develop and thrive. They'll need it to. Most of the core is nearing the end of their primes, and they'll need new cannon fodder to take their place. Just don't let Brad Marchand lick them to death, okay? I will give you credit. You didn't blow it up, but the Sabres went under the knife and got a massive retool of the roster. What Buffalo has now are new implants of sexy depth, like Jeff Skinner, Connor Sherry, and a Carter Hutton that played way over his head in St. Louis. The real key here is their potential generational talent on the back end in Rasmus Dahlin. If he plays like I think he will, the pairing of him and Ristolainen will be a Pornhub stable for years to come. Perhaps Phil Housley will emerge as a real head coach as well. Just fucking show me something besides being trash. Welcome to the new age of Carolina Hurricanes, where the mediocrity is stronger and the goaltending situation is still as garbage as ever. Ownership figures that the best option to get over the hump is in a novice coach in Rod Brindamore and Don Waddell, because he totally wasn't a disaster in Atlanta at all. You got a new sexy defenseman in Dougie Hamilton, whom is being passed around like a VHS rental anymore. I am just as confident as you are in this endeavor. Once again, what this team needed was a fucking goaltender, and they failed to come out with anyone decent. And yes, they also cut costs behind the scene. One of these casualties was Hurricanes Man. It's okay, Hurricanes Man, come on. Get out.
So that's what that voice was.
Hope you enjoyed another season of disappointment, Columbus. As the least successful and probably most pathetic franchise in hockey, you are staring at the face of yet another quandary. Artemi Panarin is your most gifted player and one of the best talents your team has ever had. Unfortunately, the Blue Jackets cannot have anything good. The bread man is discontent. He wants the fuck out of here the first chance he gets. He yearns for the lights of the big city, not a college town like this. As Bobrovsky cock teases all once again with a great regular season, the Blue Jackets are hoping to God Pierre-Luc Dubois becomes the elite center they need. See you in the second round. Oh, wait. Detroit's welcome back to the darkness not seen since days of Harkness. The borderline cap hell continues as the Red Wings continually fool themselves into thinking they are a few depth pieces away from restarting the streak. As the remnants continue to fade into the ethers of history, the Red Wings are still without a true direction in life. Their old relic and franchise face Henrik Zetterberg was undone by back injuries and won't be able to give closure. The curtains are drawing and all there is left is a sea of black. Who the hell cares about any of that? It's time to delude ourselves again. Stevie might be coming home. Please come back, Stevie. Ken Holland won't let us have any candy. I am legitimately stunned, Florida. You didn't do anything incredibly stupid this offseason. You stood pat and didn't gut everything for the sake of a change in identity. What this team needed was to let the young core catch fire and guide them to another playoff berth. So far, so good. They'll need depth to step up. They'll need Roberto Luongo's abilities to not fall off a cliff to age. That can be managed. In fact, Florida did the old switcheroo via Doug Wilson and acquired a skilled top six forward in Mike Hoffman. He'll be the wingman one of those talented centers need. Just do us all a favor and keep his girl away from the players' wives. Montreal should read the Canterbury Tales, in particular the story about Chanticleer and LaFox. There's a valuable life lesson they can learn. History kept fucking repeating itself throughout the offseason. They threw star players under the bus for last year's failure. They exiled said star players for a boggling return. They once again failed to secure the services of a first-line center. They are half-assing it by putting a natural winger as the 1C. They are giving their fans a big fat fuck you by giving Marc Bergevin carte blanche for destroying a perennial playoff contender. Even if they are so desperately trying to hide the fact that they are tanking, they're gonna fuck it up because Carey Price will probably return to form. Fool them once, shame on you. Fool them twice, well, you're just a bunch of fucking idiots. Last year was a surprisingly successful run in which the Devils made it back to the playoffs. A young core led by a surging Taylor Hall looking to bolster the lineup. What did the management team do to add this offseason? Nothing! Because being passive in the marketplace is always the key to success in the sports realm. We tried warning you about Ray Shero jersey, but like Buffalo, you didn't listen. He'll just bitch about player salaries and call it a day. The first steps towards a boys club were made, though. You brought back Marty as an executive, more or less as a figurehead, but this was your most notable move of the offseason. Yikes. Ouch. It's the classic case of two small steps forward, one giant step back. The Islanders are finally free from the horrifically incompetent reign of Garth Snow. The only cost from this necessary move was the departure of your franchise's marquee player for nothing.
Ouch.
It's a brutal blow for a team that
Why
is
did he
gearing
come
up
to
for a new
Florida?
era. As the fans call him a traitor, enter the older guard of Old Man Blue and Barry Trotz. If there's anything this team needs, it's defensive structure. They were a hot mess in their own end, and Trotz should have these fuckers blocking shots ad nauseum like he did in DC. Now, if only you could get some consistent goaltending, you could surprise people.
Way too old.
Keyword here is if. So you blew everything up years after you should've. You're trying this whole build from within thingy while you still have a few lingering pieces from the old core to try and compete. I honestly don't know what the hell to think about this squad. There's a part of me that thinks there's an outside shot for them to make the playoffs, but there's another that thinks they've got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. To be fair, you can't really tank with King Henrik in net. We can only lament his wasted career as he is most likely unable to win a cup, unless he gets traded to another team. If there is good news, Alain Vigneault and his stubborn lineups are gone. Who will be your new scapegoat if the team disappoints you again? I can hardly wait. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and
What?
girls, children of all ages, step right up and see one of the greatest shit shows in North American sports. Come and see the vengeful girlfriend who not only pissed off the franchise face, but forced Mike Hoffman to be traded for pennies on the dollar. Take your turn trying to dunk our former assistant manager as he yells at you from the cage. Laugh at poor Matt Duchene as he moves from one shit show to an even bigger one. Have your mind boggled as we botch the Mark Stone situation and he becomes a free agent at the end of the year. He's pissed off too. By God, everyone, Erik Karlsson is being traded. I repeat, Erik Karlsson is free. Somehow we still have Bobby Ryan's awful contract. For our next magic trick, we will make any goodwill we had left instantly disappear. You may ask if we're tanking for the future. Well, too bad we can't since our first round pick is Avalanche property. Come for yourself and witness this Senator shit show before Melnick sells everything off to save more money.
We're a team.
The young wave is coming, they keep saying. All of that talent is going to sweep into Philadelphia like bracelets on the ice. I'm still waiting. Despite the skill on the roster, there are a few things that are going to undo you. First and foremost, you somehow think that Dave Haxtell is still a viable coaching option. You would still be better off putting a wooden board back there. Perhaps signing JVR can bolster the offensive attack some more, but not much else. Oh yes, you did make another big move. You introduced a new mascot that's the physical embodiment of Philadelphia. Perhaps you can make him your starting
That was
goalie
not
as
there
well.
in the beginning.
Be better than the sieves you brought back.
Wow.
We are in a new world indeed. The stale memes are dead, but the shitposting business will recover, damn it. We will make new memes. Better memes. Memes that will withstand the test of time. Right when Chris Letang stops derping around and plays how we know he can play. He's even getting a new buddy in Jack Johnson. For 5 years? What the fuck, old man Rutherford? Your decor wasn't enough of a dumpster fire, so you added kerosene to it? I know it's been a fruitful run, but the window is starting to close. Time is precious. Just ask the narrative of the Pens beating the Caps. We thought it would never end. Look at how that turned out.
Why? Why did you not beat them? The memes! I can never hear it again!
Something smells really
Our
goddamn
interstate
fishy
rivals.
over here. I know everyone is praising the team for extending a lot of big pieces, but all I'm seeing is a car speeding towards the brick wall known as Cap Hell. How the hell are you going to base Sergachev? Vasilevsky? Braden Point? Is it going to be with choking in the postseason yet again? I can't fucking tell anymore. Maybe it's sabotage.
Maybe it's
Steve
be the
Yzerman
year we
unexpectedly
face him in
stepped
the
down from the team.
postseason.
Might be pivoting towards another move. You are going to be regular season darlings. You're going to make everyone think you're a lock for the cup. But I'm on to you. Prove me wrong in the playoffs. I'm supposed to be impressed, Toronto. Spare me the rally cries of how this team is going to win a cup before a game is fucking played. I know you guys nabbed John Tavares, but what the hell else did you do? That
Just
defense
because
is
you
still
got
as
the
terrible
key
as it was
star
in
in
Game
some
7 against Boston.
big
Freddie Anderson
trade
hasn't
doesn't
shown me
mean
he
you're
can be
going to the
dependable in the
playoffs
clutch.
and win the
there's that
Stanley
whole
Cup.
William Nylander issue you have because you paid Tavares. If you think this is
If
rough,
I'm
just
wrong,
wait until Marner and
may the
Matthews
whole
need to
entire
be paid
Leafs
next
fan
year.
like
The Shanna
get
play
mad
may
at
have had a
me.
wrench
If
thrown
I'm
in
right,
it before it even took off.
I'm right.
See you in April. No, Washington, you aren't in a lucid dream sequence. The Capitals did end up winning the Stanley Cup. I feel like the fan base is still shocked they didn't lose to the Penguins in the second round and are trying to come to grips with this success. As they adjust to this new reality, Capitals players brought me joy as they went on a 4-month bender to avenge over 40 years of failure. The places and things that Cup has seen will leave it deeply traumatized. As Ovi and the Caps finish their celebrating, which should be about now, another season awaits. What will the defending champs do to retain their title? You gave that much to Tom Wilson? I know he's the great troll of Pittsburgh, but over $5 million per year? The Eastern Conference is intriguing to me. There are a few teams that are head and shoulders above the rest on paper, but otherwise it looks relatively even, and there are many teams that will have playoff aspirations. As for my jinxing, I mean playoff picks, I'm choosing Toronto,
Hey.
Tampa Bay, Boston, and Florida from the Atlantic, and Washington, Pittsburgh, Columbus, and the Islanders in the Metro. The last few spots are surprisingly tough to pick from, just a lot of teams jammed in the middle. I'll probably be wrong anyway.
And as the puck drops, the words that DC fans have been waiting to hear since 1974, the Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions.
Before I continue, I have to take this little short break, so if you see a quality change in the video, that's because I do have to do one little thing quick. Be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. It seems My Travels can wait. Now for the Western Conference. 3, 2, 1.
Intensity, excitement, cutthroat. 3 words that accurately describe the Western Conference. I am expecting plenty of fights to the death throughout the season. As the year and endless charges through no man's land commence, what will these teams be looking forward to? After last year's embarrassing defeat in the playoffs, the time had come for much-needed changes to organizational philosophy. The team needed to get younger and faster. Anaheim's response to such humiliation is to be just as slow. Really? This is your answer to that old defense? Fat Shen and Andre Schuster? Some random guys at bottom 6 depth? Are you even trying anymore? It honestly seems like you aren't. You're just gonna rely on that core to bail you out and take you to the playoffs. Oh right, Corey Perry's in the infirmary for a while. Pray John Gibson stands on his head for, 4 months. For the love of God, can you fuckers
He
do
believes
something
they'll be
this year?
Houston Coyotes.
Please get the fuck out of the basement and make yourselves into a respectable team. Look, you brought in the much-maligned Alex Galchenyuk. You took on more dead money from the Blackhawks. John Chaika is still the darling of internet forums everywhere. Your organization is a joke and has been for a long time now. Anti-Ranta into winning season can get people like me to shut the fuck up. And then you'll probably move to Houston and allow them to experience the fruits of your success. Sorry, Glendale. As the team tries to strong-arm the city of Calgary into a new stadium, the Flames themselves are attempting to clear the creosote from their roster and make it back to the playoffs. What is the answer to their brutal inconsistency? Why, by taking in a bunch of Carolina Hurricanes. That's the cure for underachieving. Their old head coach, Noah Hannafin, Elias Lindholm, Derek Ryan, oh yeah, you got James Neal too. The plan seems to be barraging the net with more high-end talent, yet half-assing everything in their own. They're just praying to the holiest of gods that an aging Mike Smith keeps defying life with no backup option in sight. We saw how this played out last year, guys. You trying to conscript Naheed Nenshi for a stint there? Stepping into this team's halls is like going to a museum. There's a lot of old shit with a few new exhibits to try and freshen everything up. A fossilized Chris Kunitz, Philadelphia's whipping boy Brandon Manning, and a Cam Ward with a bunch of holes in it. The only hope for the Blackhawks is not in their young forwards like Schmaltz and DeBrincat, but by making a deal with the Devils so that Corey Crawford manages to stay healthy this season. Vertigo is a fucking bitch, and there are instances where it lingers for an indiscriminate amount of time. You don't want to rely on Cam Ward for a season. Carolina will warn you on that one. As I had mentioned last season, what a difference a year can make for teams. For a team like the Ottawa Senators, they go from a team looking promising to a fucking mess. For the Avs, the exact opposite happened. I know the Duchesne trade is an easy point to look at, but you also have to credit the emergence of Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen for their success. To get back to the playoffs, Colorado is going to need depth to step up. It was their biggest weakness last year and their remaining question. Goaltending-wise, they got the efficient German in Philip Grubauer, and Columbus grit in Ian Cole and Matt Calvert.
Praising them.
Even if this year results in regression, there is good news afoot. The Senators are fucking idiots, and you have their first round pick.
Them.
It could mean another generational talent in Jack Hughes. Is this the Lindros trade again? The Stars are in the barren saloon town known as Last Chanceville. Jim Nill and company are leaning dangerously close to the lava pit, and there isn't much time to save themselves from the fires of unemployment. They've more than likely given cybernetic enhancements to Ben Bishop so he can stay healthy for most of the season, and a shitload of money to Tyler Seguin. The back end has always been the weak point attack for maximum damage, but a potential generational player in Miro Heiskanen can help with that. Let us pray that the Stars are more than one line this year. When you do coke, it's at least 2. Line it up like that. You survived the horrible flames of cap hell without any significant casualties. I would be surprised, but this unfortunately means that you were strapped to an old metal pipe and couldn't do much of note this offseason. Just a few depth pickups and not much else. A team with Connor McDavid and company on it will always be in consideration for the playoff hunt, but the real piece to your success is in net. Cam Talbot needs to get back to bailing everything out for 70 games without Edmonton burning him out. And perhaps having a power play that can score more than Beavis would help. Andre Shakira will not aid you in this endeavor. Perhaps ever. I still believe that Chiarelli is being held for ransom in the Bahamas. It has to be why they didn't get laughed at the past few months. The old men are back in action. LA is going to surprise people and make the playoffs by everyone returning to 2014 vintage. Reverse sweeps and overtime victories will be the norm as their old team is supplemented by more old men. Imported from Russia, it's the return of the most hated man in Jersey and Ilya Kovalchuk. All of his 35-year-old goodness, allowing the Kings to be locked into a really fucked cap situation for the next 2 to 3 years. Also amplified by bribing Drew Doughty to reverse Jinx Vegas some more for the next 8 years. At 11 million per year? Jesus fuck. Does it come with a personalized Zamboni as well? At this rate, you're going to be competing with the
Everybody
Arizona
wants a piece of
Cardinals for the
Vegas.
retirement home of sports.
It's Sin City
Some
for a
people
reason.
think that hell is being locked in the basement for a while. I argue that this hell is really what the Wild are experiencing. A team that was good enough to make the playoffs, but never good enough to make a lasting impression. They've willingly locked themselves into this
They're young.
torment, and now the time has
They
come
have
to pay
time.
the piper. The architect that brought in the team is gone. In comes Paul Fenton to try and do something to fix the mess. There's nothing here that screams, wow, this is going to put
The
the Wild
team,
over the
not
top.
the
And that may be
players.
one of the most
That's
damning
what that's
statements
young.
about a team. How can you be excited for a squad whose upside is as a first-round playoff exit? At least the Vikings try to hype Minnesota up before dick punching them. There's this small part of my brain that's sticking. Not just from the forced meme that I inadvertently created, but from the feeling that the best years of the Preds window may have passed them. If it isn't, they could be ending
Ouch.
soon. The forward core shows promise of being productive, but there are some questions for the future. The meme Lord's torch could be getting passed to Jussi Saros. The defensemen are reaching their primes. Austin Watson decided to be a fucking idiot. Just like last year, the time to do something is now. The Catfish won't chuck themselves onto the ice.
Wow.
It's the mantra of the Sharks fan. Oh well, next year will be the year we get it done. You've been saying this for a decade and a half. There comes a point where it just
I think
isn't
if
going
there's
to
a
happen, but by God, you aren't going to
NHL
let it
equivalent
prevent
of the
you
Vikings,
from trying.
I think it's the
More
Sharks.
massive extensions to players that may end up destroying the team when they fall out of their primes. A swan song for Jumbo Joe, and the ultimate prize. Another generational player. Eric fucking Carlson. I swear to God, if you don't make it to the cup this season, I'm going to SAP Center to flay you all and hang your skins outside of the arena. This is all but your last chance before the depth
The way
has
he
to
came
be
out,
paid.
he came out of
For
like
the love of all
a
that is
like
holy, please don't fuck
out of
this
that
up.
entrance. Basically, like was
Sticks and
basically
stones may
Triple
break
H
your
in
bones,
SummerSlam
but being a
2007.
Blues fan, that pain lasts forever. Last year emphasized
Eternal
these
pain,
feelings.
that's-
A white-hot
ouch.
start to the season, only for misery to be the main export as everyone got injured and the team collapsed down the stretch. And you lost your novelty as the only expansion team to make the cup.
Ooh.
This status quo must continue. Begin the acquisition of another elite first-line center in Ryan O'Reilly. The core is interesting and shows promise, but I fear it's not going to be enough in the brutal division you're in. And there's also that goaltending situation. You need more playoff 17, Jake Allen, and less of whatever the fuck last year was. Enjoy your first or second round playoff elimination, St. Louis. At least put on some lube if you're gonna fuck your fans
Oh,
again.
wow. I
Someday
mean, they
the
feel
Vancouver
blue, but I don't
Canucks
think
will
they feel
return to
that
being a
much
respectable
blue.
team. Horvat and Besser will lead them to the glories of the postseason as Thatcher Demko stops everything in sight. That day will most likely not be sometime this season. The boys' club is beginning to crumble in front of our very eyes as Trevor Linden got tired of being ignored and fucked off. Jim Benning is somehow still here, getting an eternal stiffy from the wonders of North American grit and veteranosity. Here, you bottom six forwards have a healthy payday for way too long. As Eric Goodbranson is forcing him into thinking he's viable in this new NHL, the execs are going to head to the golf course and embrace the mediocrity. You should too, Vancouver. It's the typical Vegas experience. You go down there for a weekend, have a great time, get completely smashed, blackout at the Apex.
Basically
you then
the
wake up
Hangover.
the next morning in the middle of the desert with a massive hangover, a missing wallet, and a sore asshole. That was the Golden Knights' inaugural season. I'm supposed to feel bad that you lost a series? Welcome to the NHL. Nighttime has come early. Go and get yourselves more underappreciated talent in Paul Stastny and Max Pacioretty, who spent years being fucked over by Lord Bergevin. Do we get another Vegas jackpot this year, or do they roll snake eyes? In another stunning turn of events, there is legitimate hope in the true north. The Jets have their first taste of success. Their young core will be getting stronger. They ponied up a lot of money to keep them around, even if guys like Blake Wheeler will bite them in the ass in 5 years. The major issue for them is getting a reliable backup
I like
goalie
this
so Hellebuck
jersey.
won't turn into the next Cam Talbot and be destroyed from overuse. We kinda saw it against Vegas last year. The Central is once again going to be a bloodbath with no respite for the weak. Prepare your napalm and firebomb with extreme prejudice.
Or
The West
become
is
Vegas.
literally going to be a killing field, especially the Central Division. Sheer brutality and the genocide of all optimism will be the main course. As for who survives this mess in the Central, it will be Winnipeg, Nashville,
Wow, after all
Colorado,
the things you
St.
said
Louis.
about Arizona.
In the Pacific, I choose San Jose, Vegas, Edmonton, and Arizona. Yes, I think Arizona makes it, which means they aren't getting out of the basement again. I wish you all the best of luck this
Wow.
season. Happy brawling.
Stastny through center, checked along the boards.
Either way.
He shoots wide of the net, and the puck is bouncing there. Try to track it down. Line A to the front of the goal. A bouncy puck in Shifley's feet, and it's over. And the Vegas Golden Knights will play for the Stanley Cup.
So yeah, that's basically my reaction to both the Eastern and the Western Conference videos by Urinatingtree. I don't know if he's losing his trust. It's not as like engaging as usual, but maybe because he hasn't done one. I haven't done one in a long time on his videos, but yeah. Uh, he has some surprising picks like Arizona and the Islanders. I believe he had in the list of going back to the playoffs. I'm happy he chose. Many people are choosing us to basically go back to the playoffs. Oh, I hope they're right. It made my dream of Tampa Bay versus Florida in the playoffs against each other. I still say to this day, if they ever do face each other in the playoffs, they'll tear each other apart. Oh, may my dream come true. Oh, may or may not give a preview of the Florida Panthers before the game, but I will continue doing my weekly reports on the Cats as the season goes by, if I still have an internet connection to basically do this. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our next video. Hope to see you next time. Goodbye.